Well, greetings, everyone. Grand Rising, and good afternoon to those of us who are on the far, far East Coast. And welcome to Quantum Soul Alchemy 30 Days of Filling into Abundance Challenge, where we are working towards manifesting the reality that we truly desire to live within. Now, focusing on the emotional center, we're using our emotions to craft, to draw in this type of environment, the people or the abundance that we'd like to have for now and pretty much forevermore. So, if you have not already grabbed your journal, then you may do so and follow along with us on each of these challenges every day. Our journal is available on my website at whliam.com. It is also available on amazon.com. And you also get a bonus gratitude journal at the end of our 30-day challenge so that you may continue your journey towards manifesting and developing your emotional center. So, for today's lesson, we are going to cover random acts of kindness, or RAK, RAK. So, we're at day 17, y'all. Now, if you have not done days 1 through 16, don't worry. Every video that we have for each day is available on my website. You would just need to register for the course. That is free. So, you access the course by visiting whliam.com/courses. That is COURSES. And once you are approved, you'll go ahead and gain access to those videos as well as our support chat group. And if you'd like one on one assistance, you're not fully comfortable with sharing all of the emotional trials that you're facing, then you can reach me directly by emailing at support@whliam.com. Again, that is support@whliam.com, and I'll be the only one accessing that email. So don't be concerned about the sensitive nature of the information you'd like to share. It'll just be for my eyes only. Alrighty. So we're going to dive into today's lesson, and we'll start with our intro into understanding random acts of kindness. So this is going to be a workshop where I want to transform your understanding of what it means to be kind, and also what it means to just randomly show that kindness. Because earlier today I was speaking with a friend of mine, and I was going over the lesson, or just mentioning the lesson that we're going to touch today. And I said, oh, I'll plan on doing, this particular act. And then, I understood immediately that that is not a random act of kindness. You're not planning on doing something. So we're going to get into that a bit later. But yes, that immediately came to my mind, to plan on doing something as a random act of kindness. But that is not what this is. So I want you to get that out of your mind, to what you say, I'm going to plan to do something in order to show my kindness. No, I want this to be an organic experience for you. So this will be something that you'll learn to do each and every day. So it'll be little acts or small things. They don't have to be big gestures of love. That's not what a random act of kindness is. So you want to do something where you're performing these things without expecting anything in return. And it's going to be motivated purely by joy, the desire to spread positivity. So that's another way you can think of a random act of kindness. It truly just comes from the heart. And in order for those types of acts to come from the heart, you have to be in the spirit of giving, or the spirit of love and understanding. Okay. And so that helps with the randomness of the nature. No planning ahead. Okay. So let's touch on the impact on our emotional center. So, day one, we spoke about the emotional center and how that is truly important in learning how to manifest your true heart's desires. So, our emotional center is where um, our everyday actions are driven from. So, it is the part of our being that drives our feelings, that drives how we respond to others, how we respond to our environment, and how we respond to the external stimuli. So you'll hear me mention this quite often because I want to drill this in your brain. But some of us have an emotional center in our root chakra, where our stability, our foundation, our safety, security, or fear is driving our everyday actions. So if you have your emotional center centered in your root chakra, things such as anxiety could be plaguing your life. Or you could, refrain from visiting a friend because you are afraid of what could transpire between point A and point B. So in that moment, that's where your emotional center is. But you can also keep that root chakra as your emotional center, but express your emotions in a healthier way. So, for example, if our emotional center is in the root and we're looking at it as a healthy option, then what's driving your actions could be your sense of stability. So, I know that um, I want to remain stable. I'm going to pay these bills ahead of time. I'm going to pay several months ahead of time just to ensure that I am stable, ensure that I am secure in my home, or making sure the lights remain on. Those are ways in which you can express your emotional center in a positive way. And learning how to control those emotions helps us to really design this manifested beautiful reality that we see in the far future that should really be in the now. Okay, so that's what we're looking at when we're talking about the emotional center. Now, engaging in acts of kindness is it'll prevent, or um, I would say it helps to open a ripple effect. There we go. Because it'll touch lives that you're fostering in, trying to build a sense of community, so to speak. So once you show someone a random act of kindness, then that person will spread that to someone else to say, hey, this individual did this and I did not expect it. And that puts them in the spirit of acting kind. And they can spread that to someone else. And then they'll say, hey, this person did this and they received this from that other person. So I'm going to, just spread the love and joy in this moment right now. So you see how it plays on to the next person and the one after that. And that's how you're building a sense of community of just random acts of kindness. And people will remember that. They will remember you. So you never know how these little acts can, impact someone else's life in a major way. I mean, you don't want to think about that being your goal, but at the same time, it feels good to understand that this is how you can impact someone. It feels good to know that. So open your heart and your mind to just being in that state of kindness, you know, at all times. So if you want to explore some ways of random acts of kindness, let's go ahead and look at a few tips now. Let me pull out what I have written down, because I've gone through a couple of these things. But one that I have here is complimenting someone. So yes, we're here on point three. So randomly complimenting someone. Now, in this day and age, it can be a little daunting to just throw out a random compliment because people will look at you like you're crazy. But you never know. Just telling someone, "Wow, your hair looks amazing today," or you've never met them, so, "Wow, your hair looks amazing," and they probably thought that they just threw something together. But to hear a stranger say something positive about you, and let me speak on that, because usually if you're in a relationship and someone mentions something about your hair or your outfit, or the way you're looking, you tend to brush that off. I mean, I don't understand that part. But y'all know how it is. You'll tend to be like, oh, you have to say that because we're related, or because you're my dad, you have to say that I look nice in my dress, or something along those lines. But if a stranger says it, it's just like, wow, oh my gosh, your whole world lights up. So you would also want to explore that emotional center as well as to why you would brush off that similar compliment from someone that is close to you versus a compliment similar to that from a stranger. But that's something that we reflect on. And yesterday's assignment was reflection. So reflective journaling. And we use that exercise to dive into the subconscious of how we automatically respond or react, depending upon the external stimuli, and trying to figure out why is your emotional center driving you in that that direction, pretty much. Um, so that would be a good option or a good task for you, is to do some reflective journaling. If you're the type to just brush off a compliment from someone close to you versus a stranger. But yes, complimenting someone genuinely is a random act of kindness. Also, I have is um, leaving a positive note for a coworker, or putting it in a kid's lunchbox, or putting it on a mirror for your spouse. Again, see how you brush off that compliment. But yes, leaving a random note that just says something kind. You know, um, that presentation you did yesterday was truly inspiring, or just truly amazing. I loved the your projection, for the presentation. Some people may think that they don't enunciate or speak loudly enough, and that could make their day. You never know. These little tiny acts could really turn someone's life around. Let's see. We also have paying a person's lunch, or paying for someone's dinner, or when you order a Starbucks and you can get one for a few other people in the office, or maybe if your office is small enough, then the entire office, without expecting anything in return. Remember, this is a random act of kindness. So normally we will go to Starbucks for some cocoa in the morning, especially on a chilly day, and it would be a wonderful, highly spirited, lifting joy to get a cup of coffee from Starbucks. So that would be great as a random act of kindness, just paying for someone's lunch, or paying for their dinner, or doing something like grabbing a dozen donuts or something like that for the entire office versus just bringing in your own breakfast. You can also do volunteering, donating your time. um, let's say if you know a friend that has a kid, and they may want to go out for lunch, or they may want to go to the gym, and instead of hiring a babysitter, you can say, hey, just bring the baby on by, and we have the kids, and they can all play together, something along those lines, where you're just out of the blue offering this kindness to someone else. So just watching the kids, or just offering an ear to hear. Maybe this person loves to um, maybe practice their singing, and you can say, hey, I'll be your audience today. Something along those lines, where it is just you providing the space, or giving them the option to come in and take up your space, pretty much. So that's a good random act of kindness. You can also do, oh, that's really simple. Smiling. Yes. Smiling at someone. Yes, again, I know this day and age, it may seem a little bit weird, but I'm smiling all the time. So, I don't mind that people look at me sort of like, because I'm cheesy a lot, and especially out in public. So I will smile just randomly at people. And normally, us in the South, we will do that. We will see a person, and we nod heads, and we'll smile or smirk or something along those lines. It's just a kind gesture to just show someone a smile, and that could make their day. It truly could. You never know how these small little actions can change someone's world around. So I would like to know, what are some of the, smaller actions that you believe would fit as a rack, or a random act of kindness. Now you can leave that in our chat here, or you can put that in the support group, or again, just email me if you prefer to do it, privately. So yes, let us know, what would you consider a random act of kindness, or what would you like, or what would you appreciate as a random act of kindness? That would be something interesting to dive into, to hear the other end of it. Like, what would you appreciate? Because that could give us some ideas on how to approach people, especially those of us who are of different cultures. Now, I know in certain cultures, especially like in Sweden, you don't necessarily see people smile back at you. They will stare at you for a very long time, uninterrupted stares. That can make you extremely uncomfortable, especially those of us in the US where we tend to look away when someone catches our eye. But in other cultures, in European cultures, they will stare at you. Even if you catch them staring at you, they will continue. And so they may have different cultural behaviors in terms of what's considered kind, because a stare to them is not rude. It's just a way for them to interact. So it would be interesting to understand or to know what would be some random acts of kindness that you feel you would like to see from other people. And that could help us to bridge that gap of, just unfamiliarity with different people from around the world. So now each of these actions, while they are pretty much small in effort, can um, pretty much help the receiver improve their emotional center. Because when you are touching someone in a way where they feel appreciated, they're going to take that and hold that in whatever their, driving emotional center is, and hold it in a positive way. So that improves their mood. And they can then pass that on, as I stated earlier, to someone else. This is what we call emotional growth. So this is emotional maturity, to understand that someone is genuinely being kind to you. And instead of rejecting it, you're taking it and using it in a positive way. All right. So let us go ahead and we can do reflection, but of course, reflection will be on your own time. I want you to go ahead and tackle your journal's assignment for today. That would be on page, oh, I just literally have that. So that's our page 75. And you're going to go ahead and list the random acts of kindness that you have done for today. So I know it's 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here, but some people you're, already at the evening. So go ahead and list the random acts of kindness you've noticed that you've completed for today. And we're not planning, so do not plan what you're going to do tomorrow as a random act of kindness. But if you haven't completed any today, just, you know, um, be open minded to doing that tomorrow. When you get that inspiration or that idea of, I'm driving by a flower shop. Let me, get my spouse or my friend a rose or a piece of candy or something along those lines. And then go ahead and jot that down. And I want you to write how you're feeling about it, what was their reaction, and if you would do anything different the next time. Okay. So, as we close today, just remember every act of kindness, no matter how small, contributes to a larger cycle of goodwill and emotional growth. And as you go forth, I encourage you to look for opportunities to spread kindness and observe the positive changes that it has on your life and the life of others. So, thank you for joining us for day 17 of the Quantum Soul Alchemy 30 Days of Feeling into Abundance Challenge. And I will see you tomorrow, bright and early, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you.